I'm former Mayor Debbie Peterson, the host of Corruption Chronicles. Today's episode, All Tangled Up, I Can Only Hear Static, is a real-life example of how to run a local government meeting and how not to. But first, a disclaimer about the use of the word corruption. In legal and everyday use, it's the abuse of entrusted power for personal gain. But in IT terms, such as corrupted file, it simply means something with errors that prevent it from working properly. Does that make it illegal? Probably not. Does it make it more likely to be illegal or more likely to be corruptible? Absolutely. And that's what you'll see in today's podcast, which runs more like a sitcom. My mission is to point out corruption and corruptibility so that you, as a responsible citizen, can make sure your taxes and your elected representatives are serving your community as intended. Stay tuned for priceless examples of how to run a meeting according to rules of order and how to accommodate the public so we can participate in an informed manner. Welcome to the Grover Beach Citizens Oversight 2025 Committee.
All right, and we will go ahead with our roll call, and we have committee member Donna Rosa. Oh, you got it.
Committee member Donna De Rosa. Here. Committee member Holden. Here. Committee member Cass. Here. And Vice Chair Reynolds.
Here. All right, the first item on the agenda is the selection of the 2025 Citizen Oversight Committee Chair and Vice Chair. And so I will take any nominations from any of my colleagues here. In the absence of a nomination, I will repeat my nomination from last year. I will nominate Jeff Lee to be the chair for the 2025 session. Is there a second?
We cannot do that with him absent today. We would have to nominate someone who's present.
Nominate yourself, Jonathan.
I would love to give sufficient time for my colleagues to have the opportunity to deliberate and make the first nomination.
I'd like to nominate Donna and, I'm sorry, I forgot you, and Holden for chair.
Would you like to make a motion?
I move that we nominate Ann Holden for chair of the Citizens Oversight Committee for the upcoming year.
I'll second that.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And we have a majority. And so that will be Ms. Ann Holden will be the chair of the committee for the year to follow the current one we are in. And then any nominations for vice chair? In the absence of a nomination, I'll nominate myself for vice chair. Is there a motion?
I'll second.
We have a motion from.
Sorry.
Do we have a second on that motion?
I'll second that.
All in favor for Jonathan Reynolds being vice chair for the upcoming year, please say aye.
Aye.
And with the majority, Jonathan Reynolds will be the vice chair for the upcoming year. We'll now turn to our public communications section.
I am chair now,
Yeah.
so I take over.
It was prior years, it was the meeting subsequent to this one where the chair would take over.
No, I'm sorry, that's not correct. Last year, Jeff Lee was presiding over the meeting after the selection of the chair and vice chair.
Sure.
Okay, then we're going on to public communications. Any member of the public may address the Citizens Oversight Committee for a period not to exceed 3 minutes. Total of any item listed on the agenda.
Say that I've never been to one of these meetings before, and I would like to be more involved. I offer my services. I also offer my concern that Jeff Lee is not here. I offer my concern that Jeff Lee is someone that was in charge of an oversight of another and integrated waste management. authority, and there was some funds missing that are still never accounted for. It concerns me that we have somebody in charge of overseeing our city that has prior history with issues the FBI had to take a look at. I'm concerned with Measure K. I'm concerned with Measure 06. And I have a lot of questions about them, and maybe I'll save those for when we start talking about those. But thank you for allowing me to be here today.
And I don't think you'll be able to talk at all during our meeting.
Okay. I
You will
understand
not be.
that Measure 06 was designed to help people. I'm not sure if it was during COVID or not, but we have some businesses, especially 750 West Grand, the family there. They've have not had business be able to come through their drive-through. Their business has been blocked for months and months and months all summer. I ask that we take some of those funds if they're available and assist this family, help them. I've been privately asking people to do that, and I really think the city should take that step. On that note, K-14, I see a lot of issues there. I understand we don't have enough funds from what I see on the city website to finish the streets because we don't have enough money in K-14. I also understand when K-14 stepped into place, the city stopped putting any money from the general fund into the residential streets. My understanding, there was $75,000 to $100,000 put into the residential streets prior to K-14. I feel that the city, my personal opinion, has neglected me as a homeowner in putting all the burden of the residential streets on me and my taxes and everybody else in town. Thank you.
And I just want a point of order here. On the consent agenda, members of the audience may speak on any items listed on the consent agenda. Additionally, consistent with how the city council meeting on Monday was conducted, once action items were completed, there was further public communications section for discussion on those matters. So I would request a point of order about that.
So because it is a special meeting, right, we're only limited to public comment on the items that have been agendized on that topic.
Can you help me understand the designation of special meeting? This is a regularly scheduled meeting in the ordinary course of the committee.
So I'm just going based off of the way that it's been titled as a special meeting agenda. And
Yeah, but the website says it's a regular meeting.
Friday.
Well, no, you.
There's two different notes on it.
It's a committee and not a regular council meeting or advisory board
we're
meeting.
just not.
So they're not scheduled outside of the meeting, we schedule them specially at the convenience of the committee members.
I'd like a reference to rule or procedure about the same. I would also note that the minutes have not yet been approved, as that's the first item on the agenda. And so if there needs to be a revision so that we miss the special designation, perhaps that's appropriate. I'm concerned that the designation of this, having been done by someone other than the committee members, could then be used to exclude public communications that would otherwise be appropriate.
So we have not
And I'm
marked
just
the
asking the
consent
city attorney
agenda
on
as
these
approved.
issues. We can be respectful as well, please.
So the public comment can occur, but it can occur on items that are on the agenda as per the special meeting. What they're saying is because there's not an ordinance or there's not a regular meeting date for this commission, it causes a special meeting.
Well,
Committee meeting.
I guess I don't care about the designation if what you just said was true. If you said that there will still be an opportunity for public communications on items on the agenda after those items have been addressed, that's all I wanted to clarify.
Right, no. I thought you were saying that you were asking for a public communications period, just a general public communications period after, similar to what happens at a council meeting.
Gotcha. Okay, I believe we are on the same page then, so I think my concern's been addressed. Thank you.
Any other public comment?
Hi, I'm Dave Ekbaum, I'm with here in Gold Beach. I'm really concerned about why this is recorded. Who makes the decision not to record a meeting as such as this?
City manager.
Can we demand as we want to record it?
Yeah, again, because it has to be on agenda as items.
Well, this one doesn't. This is the general
It
public
is-
communications.
Correct, but there is no general public communications option for special meetings.
So
So
then
it's
perhaps that goes back to my
automatically
concern then, and we need to clarify the point of order there. The designation as a special meeting was some designation that was not given by these committee members. And absent some established ordinance procedure that you guys can reference me to that says that this does in fact fall in that category, I think that I would object to this characterization based on the fact that this is a regularly scheduled meeting that happens once per year. It happened on January 10th last year. It happens once per year at the same time.
The website says it's a regular meeting.
Public communications to be excluded based upon a designation this committee did not make.
Okay, with that continuing it because it is listed as public.
Excuse me, we can't hear.
So, yeah, you can continue forward with the public communications because it is listed on the agenda. I would just note for future meetings, that'll have to be addressed within the agenda provision, but because it is on there, yeah, I would move forward with public communications. I would only say that discussion on it needs to be limited because it's not agendized, so we can't have a back and forth. Otherwise, it'd be a ground violation.
Sure. Okay.
Excuse me, the website said it was a regular meeting.
That's correct.
Yeah, so like I said, we're gonna let him, he's gonna continue moving forward with his comment because there is a public communication session that was on the agenda, so we're going to allow it to keep going forward. Go ahead, sir.
Are you talking to me or her? Okay.
You, yeah.
I'm back to the point
Yeah.
about why is it so difficult don't we have equipment here in this chamber to record this meeting? Why is it so difficult to record a serious meeting? This is an oversight committee, once a year meeting. I think it should be recorded. And why can't we demand it? I'm the public, I'm the city, I want to hear the recording on this whole entire meeting.
Absolutely.
Why can't I ask for that? And get it? And why isn't it done? It automatically, I'm shocked.
I have no objection to the city manager responding if they choose to.
This is not a back and forth, this is public comment.
So thank you for your comment. Any others? Yes, sir.
So there's no response to it.
No, we don't have responses. This is
Once
public
a year meeting, so when
comment.
will a response, when will we,
It's a citizens meeting,
for the next meeting?
citizens oversight.
It would not be me or anyone in the committee that would answer that question. Sir?
Okay, I'm Robert Newton. I live on 561 South 14th Street. I would ask that you reschedule the meeting when it can be recorded and you have the source documentation. If there's anything ever ripe for fraud, that's it.
Amen.
Thank you. Any other public communication?
Elizabeth Dukas, North River Beach. We have a lot of people that are homesick today that were supposed to be here. They have COVID, they have flu, they have other things. They are interested in what is going on here. This is critical. It involves every citizen in this community, and for it not to be recorded or be available or historically recorded in any way is objectionable. And there's no way that this meeting should go forward or any of this discussion going on without the full benefit of all of your citizens being able to hear it, see it, understand it, get the source documents, and be able to respond to it.
Thank you. Any further comments? Then public comment is closed.
I will make a motion in light of public comments. There has been concern expressed by several members of the community regarding the access to what transpires during this meeting. There has been indications that there are people who had intentions on appearing and who could not appear due to illness. In light of the community's concern, I would move to suspend the meeting and reschedule it for a different date and time.
When it can be recorded.
Is there a second? Hearing no second.
Why wouldn't you do that? Shame on you.
Seriously.
Shame.
Shame.
All right.
Transparency.
Our first order of business is to,
I do have one more motion, is in light of the concerns by the community and in light of the prior motion not being passed, I would make a motion that the meeting should not proceed absent recording devices being present and activated.
is there a second?
The people, speak for
Hearing
your
no
community.
second, this motion.
Wow. There are 3 former mayors in this room.
Audience concurs.
All right, so the minutes of the Citizens Oversight Committee in January 10th, 2024 has been, I think, we all have copies.
Corrupted.
Is there,
No microphones, so this isn't going to pick up anyway.
I would move
They
to
could have
revise the
microphones.
agenda. Specifically, I would move to remove the component that designates it as a special meeting agenda and have all instances of the word special replaced with the word regular.
Yes, it's the minutes, not the.
is there a second?
Sorry, but just a point of order, this is the minutes that's being approved, not the agenda.
Oh, the minutes from last year.
Correct.
Do we have a copy of those minutes?
Yes.
You have? They were on your, they were on our sheet. Oh, no,
These are,
I have a copy. I printed a copy.
this is last year's.
Correct.
That's what we're talking about.
Approve the minutes for January 10th, 2024.
Correct.
These are the minutes from January 16th, 2025.
That's what they say. That is what they say.
What I printed, what is last year's minutes, but it does say the January 25th.
Oh, that might be a
I saw that
mistake.
too.
Without any
Yeah, but they
copy
keep
of
making
the
these
minutes
mistakes.
from Wednesday.
The materials that were.
I have the materials right here. Please help me find them.
I printed it off of the stuff that was submitted to us.
I don't see it.
This is a joke.
This is not serving the public good.
I'm going to leave. This is ridiculous.
You guys don't have
They
it
need to all resign.
You're expressly excluding your public.
Okay, I do have a copy of that with me. There are typographical errors throughout it, and so we will need at least a revision on the typographical errors, but I do need a moment to finish my review.
Is that available to the public?
It's on the website.
Errors and all.
Yeah, errors and all.
Oh, okay. Somebody want to look.
The website that says we're having a regular meeting.
You want to look at them.
And if you're ready.
Okay, are you,
So my motion with respect to the minutes from January 10th, 2024 is that in every iteration where the committee is spelled incorrectly or not with its full nomenclature, that it be revised to be correct in both its spelling and title. I would bring your attention to the first iteration of action where oversight is spelled S-I-T-E. We simply move to correct the spelling errors and the correct title of the committee.
where are you seeing that?
They're paid.
The name of the committee is the City of
Hundreds of
Grover
thousands.
Beach Citizens Oversight
And they can't
Committee
even
for
get
City Tax
clerical
Revenue
work.
Measures. And this refers to it as Citizen Oversight Committee with misspelling of the word oversight.
Oh, dear Lord.
And I just simply want to
Gives us
keep
a
our I's dotted and our T's crossed here. Let's be professional in our presentation of public documents.
Hello.
Maybe you should
Always
I
on.
move that we approve the minutes of the January 10th meeting with corrections made for spelling errors.
I second that. You second that?
The motion is that we approve the minutes for the January 10th, 2024 meeting with corrections. All those in favor?
But we need to specify the correction. The correction being both the spelling and the nomenclature of the committee reference. It's section where it says action, and then the second section where it says action. I just want to make sure that's specific and captured in the minutes.
So you do have a motion on the floor, you need to rescind that motion, or if you need to fail, you just gonna approve the friendly amendment.
We can't hear you.
Repeat, please.
So there's already a motion on the floor. That motion needs to be voted on, or it needs to be withdrawn. If it's withdrawn, then they can consider the friendly amendment that was proposed.
Well, she made her motion before my motion was closed. So I think that was part of the procedural issue there.
You didn't receive a second.
That's true.
Right, but there was no acknowledgement of it failing, which is why he's saying that there's still a motion open. That's why he's saying that.
That's correct.
You were modifying my amendment.
No, so
Proposed.
he started a motion.
Yeah.
So what we need to do is let that finish out.
Yeah.
If that motion fails, then you can follow through with your motion. Otherwise, it's an amendment to his motion.
I have no objection to her amendment to my motion.
So you can withdraw your motion.
I will withdraw my motion and allow his to move forward.
Okay, so
And so my motion is more or less what she's saying. I'm not making a substantive change here, is to correct both the spelling and the use of the proper title in reference to the committee throughout the minutes. Is there a second on this motion? All in favor?
Aye. Hold on.
Just a minute.
She's running the meeting.
I'm the chair.
Sorry.
There is a motion to approve the minutes, and if you will say your amendments.
Subject to revising both the spelling and nomenclature in
They're not
references
even
to the
taking
committee
notes. How are
throughout
they
the
possibly
minutes.
going to even do the minutes?
And is there any other discussion?
I think.
When it's a motion, it's been seconded, so now you can vote.
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? The motion carries.
Could you all please talk louder?
Cannot hear you.
Because I'm old.
Is there a reason we don't have microphones set up here?
Yeah.
This is public.
The system where your
is one thing, but
community
lack of
can
the,
interact.
Americans with Disabilities Act, we need to have some.
Oh, that's true.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm old too.
And old, this is elder abuse, I think.
You're ADA non-compliant.
Yes.
You need to suspend this meeting, and one of you need to second that motion.
I'm sure they can talk louder, right? Or maybe not.
You, second
We
it.
do have listening devices if anyone would like any, our clerk can continue to recess.
That's not gonna help anybody.
Just speak up.
It would be appropriate to take a recess to accommodate the accessibility needs of the citizens.
I would just have to.
All right.
Would you like to call 5-minute recess?
There's no record
We'll
of any of
ask for a
this.
recess for
I wish we'd brought our whistles.
I know.
hearing
Or ping
devices.
pong
for
balls or
the
what
audience.
have you.
Be quiet.
Look, I'm not deaf. I just want to be able to hear what you say, and you're mumbling.
Hear, hear.
Just like right now.
Looking at hearing devices.
We can't hear you.
We can't hear you. We can't
It's not in
understand.
session at the moment?
It's not?
Oh, when did that happen?
They're taking a recess. Just get quiet.
No.
Do they even have a audio recording device so that they can make accurate minutes? I don't see one up there.
How many people are on this committee?
It's those four and Jeff Lee.
I'm sure somebody's on the camera on one of these computers. Watch.
There's issues of council saying.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You just sit up where the council does it.
That would be appropriate.
Who's he? Well, we're allowed, they're in recess. We're allowed to go up and talk to them.
To set up this table in an effort to diminish the gravitas of the committee and its authority and oversight.
So, my concern about this is a committee that is responsible for oversight for what the voters choose, and yet the voters aren't being involved. We can't hear the meeting. There's no recording. Even the city council will have no opportunity to know what went on because there's no record of it.
Correct, and the minutes also do not accurately reflect the full details of what transpires. It does create an issue of accountability for the council to be able to understand, in the absence of being here, what happened and how it proceeded. And so instead, the council is left to rely on the communication by city management as to what happened, and whatever weight of concern is going to be deferred to the management. As part of the problem, as part of the issue I raised on Monday at the city council meeting, is that there's a perversion of interest here. The subject of the oversight should not be dictating how the oversight committee proceeds. And luckily, we're off the record, so I can sit here and wax philosophic until we're back. Sure, I'm happy to ask your questions.
Some of that I find offensive, so. Mayor Diers.
Well, I'm certainly sorry if you take any offense to my perspective on the application of law to fact here. Notwithstanding the offense taken, the law is black and white. It says what it says.
Absolutely.
And, it's important to be dispassionate in discussions of law.
I think it's notable that there are 3 former mayors here that might lend some understanding of the gravity of this kind of an oversight committee. Citizens are the most important. Citizens oversight is the most important.
That is not politically convenient for the facts in currently ruling.
True. Absolutely.
I'm wondering why.
Yeah, why?
Yeah. Why?
Why won't they second your motion?
I had sent an email to city management.
Someone needs to go to the dollar store and get a bunch of whistles.
Or actually, last Friday.
Blow them.
The non-production of the report, what reason for you have to not give it to us? You gave us the expense report every other year. I have them right here. Why this year do we unilaterally decide not to give it to us?
Why? If you need a device, there are 3 at the.
We do have to adhere to the whole 5 minutes of the recess. You can't do this.
Still informed them. Boy, did we piss her off.
They want the hearing devices there at the table.
Why don't you just go back there and use the mic?
There you go. That's a good idea.
It's simple.
Common sense has left the building.
I think we should all have some.
Okay.
You only have 3.
Wait.
We have as much time as we need for each of you guys with accessibility issues to get the accommodation you require. So if you need that, please just let them know.
The difficulty is when people don't speak loudly enough, then we're not able to catch it on the recording.
Why don't you just second the motion and reschedule the meeting so everybody can be here?
Reschedule the meeting.
And then have it recorded so everybody can see it.
I do appreciate all of y'all's patience. And I apologize on behalf of city management for not being adequately prepared for this meeting.
Do those things work? Do they help?
I don't know, I can't get them untangled.
No.
Sounds like the city.
Can't get it untangled.
It's synchronistic.
It's back in session.
I'd like to make a point of order.
Please understand that we have a meeting in session now. The audience is silent and respectful, please.
I'll make a point of order that proceeding in the absence of accessibility accommodations would be violative of the Americans with Disabilities Act. And in light of that, so we tried to get over the community to move forward until we assess the opinion from the city attorney on the same.
Were you making a motion?
The point of order,
Oh.
parliamentary procedure.
So essentially what we can do is we can have the crowd move closer, if that will help them hear us better. And we will also speak up louder, primarily because the concern voice was that we couldn't be heard. So if you want to scoot in closer to be able to hear, that's perfectly acceptable. And we will also speak louder.
Anybody else need one of these? Anybody else need one?
We're supposed to move forward. Move it closer. Okay.
Give them the opportunity to do that.
People not here.
Whoops.
Hey, David, don't sugarcoat it.
Excuse me,
Did you
Ron.
do that recording thing? You can't hear it from back up.
I don't need this. Do you want this?
So we can.
No, to record them.
Oh,
I don't think this
we're recording
works.
on the phone.
Do you have any ideas?
I think maybe it's not pushed in well enough.
No.
It's red. Woo! Can you hear now? Static.
Within earshot.
If everyone's had an opportunity to their position.
I'm only hearing static.
You want me to bring the chair, dear?
I'm going to stop recording for a minute.
Are there any other accessibility
Could you hold
concerns?
this for me for a minute and record while I...
Is everyone's accessibility concern addressed?
Is everybody ready?
All I'm getting is static. You want to hear it?
So we can move forward. We'll speak up, or you can scoot in closer if you need to hear.
How?
Wow. All right, the next item on our
Have all people who have trouble hearing had the opportunity to move forward? Are you guys where you would like to be seated so that you can hear the meeting? Yes? Okay.
Number 2 is the review of
It's
measure
static.
X06
static. It doesn't
and
work.
F20 transactions and use tax revenues and expenditures of measure K14 expenditures and projects for fiscal year 2023-24 and consideration of annual report. And we will hear from our Administrative Services Director, Nick, sorry.
It's okay. It's not an easy name. Thank you for the introduction. I'm going here with Mike Flores, our finance manager, as well as Aaron Wigan, our capital projects manager. I'll briefly go through the capital projects,
This is the
Citizens
static.
Oversight Committee transaction use report, as well as the K14 bond. Page 1, we have our title page. It consists of a couple of pictures that were provided by Public Works, showing some of the work on the projects that we did this year. So it's nice to see that. The second page.
What page are we on? When you say the cover page, are you referring
Cover
to
page.
this one?
No.
Or are you referring to, okay.
Correct. Thank you. Page 1 of the oversight report.
Well, this being the page 2 then?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you, sir. Page 2 consists of a message from the Citizens Oversight Committee. It's been updated with information relative to this fiscal year past, FY 2023-24.
And a question on that, you said that there's a message from you.
So he needs to finish his presentation, and then you can ask questions.
I'd like a point of order on that, because right now is the business of the committee to review these measures. While he is here as a speaker, it says review the information and consider approval. There is no designated slot of time for the speaker to speak without interruption, without interjection, or without question. So could you please tell me where either in this agenda or in ordinance and procedure that the committee does not have the opportunity to examine and question the speaker at their leisure? Where does it say I'm restricted?
So it does have an opportunity, but I believe this is a presentation portion of the agenda item, and then to go back into questions and back and forth and comment.
Where is the reference to the presentation in this agenda that I'm looking at?
So it's part of the regular business item.
Right, where does this say presentation?
So it's review the information and consider approval.
So review this information, right?
Correct.
And so this is part of that information. So me asking a question about that would fall within the scope of this current agenda item. And him giving a presentation without
Do you have a
interruptions.
question on page 1? That's all he's said so far.
Uh,
Do you have a question
page
on
2.
page 1?
I do.
Are you up to page 2?
That's where he's at.
I had just gotten to page 2 and was describing the content.
And I want to make sure I hit the items as he's going through them, rather than trying to recap all of them when he's done, which I
I would
believe is within my
suggest
purview.
that he is allowed to speak to this item of business, and you can ask questions later.
Well, I appreciate your suggestion, but I'm asking for a point of order. I am asking for a point of order that says that the committee is not permitted to ask questions of the speaker during the course of the speaker's prepared remarks.
You have to vote on the point of order.
But so you can make a motion either to allow that to continue forward, where to basically question him during the presentation, or you can also make a motion to allow him to finish his presentation and ask questions.
And it would seem like the motion would be necessary for the latter, if not the former. And so in the absence of a motion, I'll just repeat my question. You said that this is a message from the Citizens Oversight Committee.
I move
And
that
I just want to know what.
Mr. Zamet be allowed to finish his presentation. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
So we have a motion to allow Mr. Zamet to finish his presentation.
I would ask for
All
a
those
friendly
in
amendment.
favor?
When you say finished, is that without interruption? Is that without interjection?
To finish his presentation. All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Now, how does that vote
Motion
affect my
carries.
ability to ask questions? Because he can finish his presentation. There was no specifications in the motion as to what the content restrictions would be.
So I think that based off of the general language that was used, it would just be to allow him to provide his presentation, and then everyone could begin questioning him on contents within his presentation and the materials.
I will yield with the expectation that my questioning is not going to be interrupted once we get there.
All right, Mr. Zamet.
Okay, thank you. Moving back to it, the second page consists of a message from the Oversight Committee followed by a message from the City Manager, which have been updated for this fiscal year. Next page is Measure X06, representing overview of Measure X06, tax and sales tax, which you'll see 2024 has been added. There was roughly a 10% decline in sales tax collected for Measure X06 this fiscal year.
I'm sorry, you'll have to slow down.
Yeah, it's
Representing
too fast.
$131,000 and 283. There's also a column graph underneath that showing the year-over-year changes. Following page, page 4, is Measure F20 status report. That also represents a smaller decline in the prior fiscal year of 0.25%, or $6,028. And finally, on the bottom of that page, there's a combined bar graph that shows the distribution of the measures, seeing that F20 is a much larger share of it because it is 1% versus 1/2. Moving on to the following page, page 5 of the report, we have a Measure K14 status report update, providing an overview of the expenditures to date based off the history of issuance. Total revenue has been $38,569,381. Capital expenditures has been inception to date, $32,913,328, with $2,213,929 this fiscal year, with non-capital expenditures of $210,543 this year, for a total of $1,990,887, for a combined total of $34,904,214. With a remaining fund balance of $3,665,166.
Okay,
Got
you
through
can
all this.
understand that.
There's nothing up on the screen or
I
anything.
believe
Mr. Zamet, can you also, we did receive questions from another committee member who was not able to make it, and we have answers to those which might inform your committee as well.
She's allowed to interrupt a
I'm
staff.
gonna object to the in lieu question asking. I'm also going to object to interrupting our meeting. The city management is here as attendants, not as participants, unless you are asked a question by the committee.
And so I would ask that we follow the rules and that we not interrupt the committee's business and that we not try to lodge questions on behalf of absent members. If we can please just follow the rules on that, please. Ms. Erickson.